listen up, mate. We've got some absolute belters for you today. The Celtic board have come out with the most baffling claim you'll ever hear about our so-called success in Europe. Andy Walker's been having his say on a wild Raheem Sterling to Celtic rumour. And wait till you hear this. Hugh Keevins got a message during the match that'll blow your mind about Brendan Rodgers. Stay with me till the very end. Massive thanks to you for helping us smash 1,000 subscribers, but that's just the start. With more than 2,000 views on every story, if you hit subscribe right now, we'll fly past 1,500 seared subscribers, all backing the Celtic. Let's prove once again that our support is miles beyond anything the Rangers could ever muster. We have 6 news a day to keep you updated with the mighty Celtic. Hit that subscribe button and be part of it. Let's have a proper blether about this one, eh? Because honestly, I didn't know whether to laugh or to bang my hide off the nearest wall after hearing what the Celtic board came out with this time. The lads at the Celtic Fans Collective went in looking for answers, right? Fair play to them. They wanted clarity, direction, something to show we're moving forward, but what they got, a load of corporate waffle and a pat on the hide like we're daft enough to swallow it all. So here's the gist, and hold on to your pint for this one. The board apparently believes the football strategy is working. They actually used participation in European competition as proof that things are going well. Not wins, not progress, not qualifying beyond the groups, just showing up. That's like saying you're a top musician because you own a guitar. It's pure nonsense. And then, get this, when the lads pressed them on transfers, the board went full politician mode. Oh, well, there are tax laws, difficult market conditions, multidisciplinary models. Sure. Next, they'll be blaming the Seagulls at Lennoxtown for why we didn't sign another striker. They said there's no single person in charge of transfers, but emails get sent for authorization. Emails. Can you imagine that? While we're screaming for reinforcements, someone's sitting there refreshing their inbox waiting for a reply that says, I approved. Go buy the winger. Meanwhile, Brendan's trying to patch up holes in the squad, bigger than potholes on Sucky Hall Street, and the board's bragging about sending emails as if that's world-class football strategy. You couldn't make it up. And the cherry on top, they're still calling this European season a success. Mate, we've been treated to more misery nights in Europe than rain in Glasgow. If that's success, I'd hate to see what failure looks like in their eyes. Honestly, it feels like the gap between the suits in the boardroom and you, the real heartbeat of Celtic, is wider than ever. The fans are frustrated, Brendan's frustrated, and you can sense Paradise is just bubbling, ready to boil over. And now this story's not ending quietly, Dahan, and I've got a feeling the next few weeks are going to get spicy. Now, here's what I want to know from you. Do you still trust this Celtic board to lead the club forward, or do you think it's time we, the faithful, make our voices impossible to ignore? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's giant lady till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. Here's one for you that's been floating about the rumour mill lately. Raheem bloody Sterling being linked with Celtic. Now, I ken it sounds mad, but let's unpack it, because folk are actually talking about it like it's a real thing. And before you start dreaming of Sterling flying down the left wing at Paradise, let's take a wee breath. So here's what's what. Sterling's career has hit the skids a bit since leaving Manchester City. And honestly, that move to Chelsea's aged, worse than milk, left out in the sun. He's not even getting near the matchday squad under Enzo Maresca. And by the sounds of it, the man's future in London is colder than a January night in Govan. Some folk, including Ali McCoist of all people, have been saying he could do a job for Celtic. Aye, right, Ali, I bet you'd love that, watching us run riot with Sterling. tearing defenses apart while the Rangers crumble again. But then Andy Walker came in and poured a proper bucket of cold water over the whole thing. He said there's nae chance, not a snowball's chance in hell, of Celtic going anywhere near those wages. And he's got a point. 300 grand a week? You could buy half of Glasgow for that. Even if Chelsea agreed to pay most of it, it's still mental money. Still, it's a funny one because you can see why folk are whispering. Sterling's 30 now, been around the block, won everything you could imagine, and he knows Brendan from their Liverpool days. You could picture Brendan thinking, maybe, just maybe, I could get one more tune out of him. But nah, as romantic as that sounds, it's fantasy stuff, and Walker wasn't pulling any punches. He said flat out that Celtic's not touching that deal, and fair enough. We've seen what happens when big names come north thinking they'll stroll it. This league chews folk up. You've got rain, mud, and defenders who'd kick through a brick wall before letting you past. Still, it's wild, isn't it? Raheem Sterling, a lad who's won Premier Leagues and played World Cups, being even mentioned in the same breath as Celtic, shows how big our club is, even compared to the English elite. It's a nod to what paradise means in world football, and it always will. But here's the big question for you. If Chelsea actually agreed to cover most of his wages, would you want Brendan to bring Sterling in for a season at Celtic Park, or is that kind of move just a distraction from the real rebuilding we need? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's GI it. Loudy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. Now, here's one for you. The atmosphere at Paradise on Sunday was pure chaos, wasn't it? 1 minute folk were ready to pack it in, the next they're jumping about like it's Seville all over again. That 3-2 win over Motherwell might have given Brendan Rodgers a lifeline, but it's what happened in the stands that's got everyone talking. So, according to Hugh Keevins, that old radio rascal, he got a message right in the middle of the match from someone in the crowd, not the press box, mind you. The fan texted him the name of who they thought should be the next Celtic manager. Can you imagine that? You're watching the game, it's 2-1 down, and instead of shouting, "Mon the hoops," you're typing out potential replacements for Brendan. That's the kind of madness only Celtic Park can serve up. Hugh said it was the most un-Celtic-like atmosphere he'd ever seen, and he's not wrong. At 2-1 down, the anxiety was dripping off the terraces thicker than the rain on Sucky Hall Street. Folk were moaning, muttering, and I swear you could feel the tension even through the telly. Then, boom, Dyson. Maeda pops up at the death, the ball hits the net, and suddenly every single one of those doubters is screaming Brendan's name again like nothing ever happened. It's such a classic night at Paradise, isn't it? We make life harder than it needs to be, but when the final whistle goes, you remember why this club's magic. Still, you can't ignore what's brewing under the surface. There's a storm between the support and the board, and it's no clearing anytime soon. You've got the Celtic fans, collective planning, silent protests. I imagine Paradise being quiet, it's unthinkable. And meetings that end up raising more questions than answers, let's be honest. The disconnect between the suits and the terraces is real. Brendan's trying to keep things together on the park, but off it, the fans are losing trust faster than a Rangers fan loses composure when they see a green and white scarf. But here's what I want to know. If that text Hugh Keevins got was from you, Meg, and you were sitting there at 2-1 down, who would you have named as the next Celtic manager? Would you stick with Brendan through the storm, or is it time for a new face in the dugout? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's guy it loldy till we hit a 1,500 mad Celtic daffs.